You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Real Housewives of New York City After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Real Housewives of New York City After Show.
Song's gonna play. Great song, everybody.
Fantastic intro. There we go.
It's fashionably late. Fashionably
fine,
late.
fine, it's okay. It made its entrance. It made its entrance.
The mama.
Okay, we wanted to dedicate a song to like a really hot mom tonight. We won't mention, she doesn't want to be called up, but a really hot mom, and that's it.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, that's all we're gonna do. And now, bring it. No, I'm kidding. Hey guys, I'm Ashley Daniels here again for Real Housewives of New York with some sexy ladies in the house. Who am I with?
Thank you very much, Ashley. I'm Stephanie McGrath, guys.
Hey, I'm Lyndsey Wegner, and I'm here with my mama.
And I am Courtney Henderson.
Yo mama or my mama?
Mom.
Are you saying she's yo mama?
Yo mama, cho mama, yo
Whatever.
mama. My
We
mama.
all had way too much. I don't know, we're all really hyper tonight. Is anybody else feeling that in the universe? Let us know. In the
Steven is
comments
too.
section, are you? Little boy?
It
Little
was
boy blue?
exciting.
Oh my
Steven
gosh.
looks like a little boy tonight. I'm gonna call him out.
He's
he looks
handsome,
adorable.
though.
He looks
No,
very
he's
cute.
super sexy without like facial hair. I mean, with facial hair too, but you're not as like badass. You're like more like.
Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Just
Pretty
hitting on
cute,
my
isn't it?
producer.
Just
you
before
know.
he got there when he was a little teenage boy.
He doesn't look 12, you guys.
You look like 17. You look like I'd want to go to prom with you. You know. Okay.
I'll
cool.
take it as a compliment.
Thanks.
It is
was
a
compliment. It
compliment.
was. I like it. I don't want to see facial hair for a while. Looks great. Okay. The last splash, girls. We were scared. We don't like the sight of blood, and we got a little bit of blood, but not really. It was more like swelling.
I think we were more fearing
But
how the blood was going to come.
well, because in the preview, we just know something happens.
Right.
You know, and so we didn't know how it happens or what exactly happened, and so
And there's fish
we
hooks.
all and so as soon as we were like, oh, they're fishing.
Yep.
I don't think Ashley looked at the screen again.
I didn't. I had my head down the whole time, and I screamed every 2 seconds because I literally just pictured in my head them taking the fish thing. You know, I'm a professional fisher, obviously, and I was, you know, they go like this or whatever, and then the hook just like sticks into her nose or
no,
something. So
no.
I just said, forget
But
it.
that's not what happened.
No,
that doesn't
Well,
happen.
yes, don't worry. But of course, I was like dying. We all kind of were nervous at one point, Lyndsey, too. You were like, oh,
Yeah,
it's happening
I don't want to
now.
see it. I don't want to see it happen.
Yeah, no,
Not the
no,
fish
no.
hook.
The words
No.
were far more dramatic as opposed
Yes.
to the action itself.
Yes.
But we will cover that in
We
tonight's
will.
episode.
Yes, yes. We'll get into that in just a second. And before we even get into that, did you want to mention something today, Courtney?
I do.
Some info?
Yes. I mean, we know everybody loves Real Housewives of New York, and we have a lot of fans of this after show. And so, you know, every week we ask you guys to go on our iTunes and rate us and support us by giving us 5 stars if you like us. Another way that you can support this show in particular, the Real Housewives of New York after show at AfterBuzz, or AfterBuzz as a whole, is watch and like some of our other shows, particularly Chasing Maria. It's actually a show about Maria Menounos and her partner, Kevin Undergaro. They started AfterBuzz, so we are so lucky to have them. It's so much fun to get to watch them and to see all of the things that are going on, you know, in their life outside of AfterBuzz, because we don't always get, you know, to be privy to what's going on outside of their hard work here with us. So go ahead and like that show. Watch the after show. Watch the show. It's on Oxygen. It's on at 10 p.m. on Tuesdays. If you can't catch it then because you're watching The Real Housewives of New York,
Which, of course, makes
you
sense.
can find it. It's on demand. It's on iTunes, and it's also on Amazon. So you can go ahead and watch it there, and it's one other way you can support us in this show and all of the shows that you love on AfterBuzz.
Yeah.
Yes. Here, I love it. I definitely agree with you on everything you just said. But before we continue, though, I do want to let everybody know that we will be having Heather in from Real Housewives of New York on Thursday this week. She couldn't come in tonight because she's flying into LA tomorrow. So she'll be with us Thursday for a Spotlight On segment. So it's going to be a little more one-on-one, but basically it's going to be all of us, or almost all of us. We're going to see who can make it and everything. But we're going to be here sitting with her and asking her all those juicy questions about Spanx, about seeing what happened and what she thought of the people going to her house and all the air conditioning drama.
I think it's really great timing of her again. Yeah, we've done it again, ladies, because she had it. It was a great episode of her.
Oh, I know. It was totally. No, totally. We had so many questions for her.
It was her, she was hosting. It was her
a heavy episode.
And it was a really happy, we just saw a really great girl that was just rolls with it, whatever goes on. So I'm excited to meet her in person.
After the episode, a few back where she kind of went ghetto, as Sonia called her, I was a little like, whoa. I don't know people like that. And as the rest of the season has kind of unraveled, and particularly tonight, I'm like, she's like right up there, one of my favorites.
She is the best. Yep. So, tweet us. You can write us on YouTube and let us know if you have any questions that you would like Heather to answer. We'll call you out too if you would like. And we will be tweeting live that day as well. So if you have any last minute questions that you want to ask, and they're appropriate, we will ask her. Okay, but she's really cool though. She's definitely going to be somebody that we'll want to hang out with. So
tonight we even see her take out the camera guy and she's got no
Oh, I know. We have to make sure all of our camera people are locked safe in. Okay, so beginning of the episode, we see Sonia meets with Josh. We heard about this happening last week, but obviously we didn't see it, and now we actually saw it this week. What did you guys think of that little pep talk, so to speak, that they had?
She's effing bananas.
Yeah.
Quote
Delusional.
from Josh.
Delusional, yeah. And I just felt sad. Like every single time he would say something, it was just like Josh said, she wasn't listening.
Yeah.
Like every single time he would say something focused, she would have a reason trying to explain how she was, or trying to explain why she didn't need to because she had something better going on. And it just was one of those where it's like, oh, like Sonia, whatever you've been doing isn't working.
It's what we've seen over the past couple of weeks from the start, and we've all mentioned it. And I think Josh sums it up when he says, you're so starry-eyed in terms of anything new comes along. She's like, oh, I want to do that. I want to do that. And Courtney, you mentioned it, you brought it up last week about how when she's really creative, and sometimes with those really creative people, they do need a business partner that's very good, not on the creative aspect, but of the business, honing in all their creative skills and says, that's great. Let's just take it one thing at a time, and I'm going to set up a business plan and focus. You keep the creative ideas, and I handle the business. She needs that. Yeah. Josh said it straight up. She needs that.
But I think she says she has a business partner. It's just a different one for all these projects. So you don't have the one like-minded person going, hey, we're working on this now. We're going to do the diamond stuff. Or we're going to concentrate on the catering. Or we're going to do the toaster. One thing, but she's got business people in every single aspect of what she's planning.
But does she have actual business manager, or is it more like she said the China production? Like they're more the
It's team or branding, something.
It sounds to me like she has the interns, which we know she has.
Yeah.
And then she has friends that she's probably made, from her married life and just her life in New York. Because anywhere that you live, you make friends and connections, especially living at, the level of society that she has been fortunate enough to. So she has these friends and connections that are willing to help, especially maybe knowing how public some of these financial issues are for her. And so I don't picture them being partners as much as like, oh yeah, I have factories in China or Colombia, or all those places she was mentioning, and they're like, well, they're willing to help, but I mean, all she really has to do.
That's not a person that works every day as a.
If she wants it to be like Sonia, as the umbrella, and then have all these different companies and ideas and things underneath it, she needs to brand Sonia.
One thing first, and then let it build and be 5 different things.
Yeah.
So do you think it's her optimism? Sorry, do you think it's her optimism that kind of blinds her in a sense of reality?
I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing
No,
because
I
see,
know, yeah.
I definitely see, like, there are, exactly, she's so positive, she wants to believe and see all these good things. It's kind of like a childlike energy.
Well, it's like that when I said the creative people, and there's amazingly really creative geniuses, but they almost are. They borderline with ADHD as well, where they can't tend to sometimes, they create these ideas, but they don't hold on to them, or they don't fulfill it to see, because another idea pops up. And that's why I think it'd be great if she had a great business partner to do all that aspect.
And follow
she
through.
can keep throwing out the ideas, then they put it together and actually do the business.
I want to ask you, because and I don't want to say, if that's okay, but like you are very, very educated, and I don't know if a lot of people know that, but you are, extremely smart in psychology. And if I'm allowed to say, can I? Yeah. Okay.
She's going to when she's going to say
you're a licensed
in Australia.
Yeah, right.
Not here.
psychologist. Okay, so you're a very smart woman. I don't know if a lot of people, because she looks like she's 18. I'm not sure if a lot of people know, our viewers and listeners. So I'm not saying that she needs therapy, that Sonia needs therapy, but being somebody that's accomplished a lot, what would you say would be the number one piece of advice that you would give Sonia if Sonia came to you and said, I need to figure out my thoughts right now and figure out a game plan? What would you say to her? Would you tell her just to step back, take a deep breath, take a look at her life? What would be the number one if you had a piece of advice for her? I'm just curious what you think, because you're a smart woman.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to say anything from a psych perspective.
Okay, fine. But I'm saying it more from you being an educated
Josh,
woman.
I think he really nailed it on the spot and said, before you get into all these other plans and all the things, just bring it down, get a branding, a person who does that as their everyday living in their profession, and as well get a person who's in business and finance and get them to handle it. Don't try and do that. She needs to give up that part, I think. And they would do a great job. She needs to pair with someone.
Why do you think she's so anti?
I don't know. That's what I was going to ask you. I mean, asking all of you. You're all brilliant. I love you guys. I literally listen to you all day and just.
That's
sit
kind
back.
of my question. Is
I don't know.
When she had Heather before and now Josh and whoever else may be off cameras, because I'm sure at some point, because we've seen Ramona also be loving and caring and trying to help, maybe off cameras and more in their personal friendship, she has also tried to offer friends or people, with expertise in these types of things that would help, but it doesn't seem like I almost feel like she doesn't really know what she doesn't know. If that makes sense?
I think she's got too much a bigger ego.
Really?
You think that's what it is? Okay.
Yeah, I honestly don't think she wants to listen.
Do you think that
She
maybe she
doesn't
doesn't
wanna
want to
lose
work?
control.
Do you think it's almost that she doesn't want to do the work, and she knows that by taking on a business person, she's going to actually have to, there's a lot of fear involved maybe, and she knows by actually doing that, it's going to take a ton of work, and she's better off just saying the things are going to happen?
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
Or maybe she's worried about failing.
Potentially, yeah, fear of failure.
Maybe
Good.
she's worried about failing and getting this project out there and then it not succeeding.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's all on her.
Okay, I'm sorry,
And
but
this
you
way,
just
the
nailed
way
it.
that she
You
goes,
just nailed it.
or this way, the way that she goes, she never fulfills any of them. Therefore, she's never technically failed. So she's always keeping herself at a safe distance. Where I haven't finished it. None of them are finished projects.
It's not failed.
She
It's
hasn't
unfinished.
failed.
Yeah.
I really do think you nailed it. I just I
And
can't
she
think
may
of
not
any
even
other
real-
reason why
yeah.
she would.
She may not even realize that that's what she's
It's
doing.
definitely subconscious.
Because
Yeah.
if she did, I think that she probably would let somebody like Josh help, and kind of say, okay, I need something so that I don't lose my home, so that I don't have nowhere to go and no money to support myself, and what of these has the best shot of making it. Help me set myself up for success so that I can keep the life that I've worked so hard to build and maintain with all of these people and friends and family.
I almost felt like she only wants to hear what she wants to hear. And so when she doesn't hear that, she kind of just tunes you out a little bit. I feel like some people are set in their ways, and it's not even age that does that, because there are people that can change. Yeah. I don't see her changing, though.
No.
I see her being, and she's been proactive in so many other circumstances. I mean, hey, this is a big step. She went on a show. She filled out the paperwork. She auditioned. She went through with it. She followed up with it. She did it. Another season. So there's certain things she sticks to, but I think that this is a situation that, like you say, Lyndsey, I really do think it's fear, and all of you
And
guys.
I'd love to see her succeed. She does have some really great ideas, you know. So it's a matter of getting them to fruition. But she needs the help, so she's got to take a step back and go, I need to allow them to help me. You know, it's like an actress. You need to have a good agent to get you. I mean, you're not going to be able to do it all by yourself, you know. Or somebody that wants to start and run a business needs people along the way to help them get that plan.
They have specialties in that particular area. She's not, you know, she wants to be good and do it all herself. And
I guarantee Ramona with her wine
didn't do it
on her own.
No. Oh God,
all the housewives that have sought other
branded
ventures
themselves with
get help from somebody
Bethany's
to get
the only
that
one that
point.
did it kind of on her own.
Yeah.
But she still was smart enough to get
But
the right
that's because
people involved.
I think she's trained or has business.
She's super smart. But I mean, the other girls, they all just kind of took a lesson from Bethany, and they went. She kind of paved the way for all of them.
Yeah,
to
she
do
really
anything
did,
they want to do.
to brand themselves.
Oh, I know. And you know, Bravo, I believe they did not. They didn't get if you do a show, if you launch anything on a Bravo show, particularly the Real Housewives, I think you have to give a certain amount to Bravo for whatever
the rights to
because with
percentage.
Bethany, they didn't do that. Bethany got to keep all her money.
Well, they didn't know.
I know.
I didn't think
that
it was
the franchise would.
They never thought. I mean, so
blow up
now,
like that.
right?
Multi-million
And it will
dollar.
there'll never be something else like that. That's that big. I can imagine. That's that crazy,
Well, I mean,
crazy
she's
successful.
got her own talk show. I mean,
I know. Well,
it's
it's canceled, but it's still,
anyway.
you know, it's still
Yeah,
on.
Skinny Girl, when they sold it off, I mean, multi-million dollars she got the part.
She's good
But
for life.
anyway,
Yeah. Okay. So then we see Ramona, Kristen, Luann, and the boys, and the gay husband. Ramona's gay husband.
The husband.
The husband.
we did make a quick
I've
little
never
short
heard
trip
that.
into
Carole,
Beverly Hills,
Yes.
Los Angeles.
Yes, I didn't feel
Chatting
like
with
that
her
was You guys want to
girlfriend.
talk about that? I don't know if there's anything really.
It was just a
to talk
brief.
about.
She got
Did you-
broken
but-
up by a guy that she was set up with before she even saw him.
Yeah.
Did you guys
week
know?
later.
I mean, we've talked about how Carole is successful. I had no idea.
She's got West Coast, East Coast.
You know what I
access.
mean? Like,
Yeah. She was out here
but
a few
not
weeks
just
ago.
a house. You know what I mean? Like, her apartment is a great apartment. I mean, that's a multi-million-dollar apartment in New York.
Oh, God.
And that house, same thing in Beverly Hills.
in Beverly Hills.
She also doesn't have
I
a
mean-
family or children to support.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but there's a lot of women
I mean,
her
that's a
age
lot
that
of
don't
money as
have
well.
what she has,
Yeah,
and
she's-
have
Of
worked.
course, I know she's
and,
very successful.
Yeah. She's got
Like,
a nice.
go girl. That's all. I was
No,
like,
no, absolutely.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, she has a great life. I mean, I think she does at least. I'd want to have
Yeah.
her life any day. Any of them, I'll take any of them. Okay, but yeah, so we see a brief glimpse with her girlfriends at Carol's. But then we go to Ramona, Kristen, Luann, and the boys, and the husband at dinner. And FYI, I loved Heather's dress. We all loved Heather's dress. We got to ask her where
my
she got it.
gosh.
Loved
Hands
it.
down.
The floral dress was
Amazing.
just gorgeous.
So
She has the
pretty.
best dresses. Even at Luann's house back at the Hamptons a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah,
That,
yeah.
Like, it was a kind of tie-dye looking or something. It was awesome. All right. So she says, Ramona says at one point, why isn't Kristen putting a muzzle on his mouth, referring to Josh, because Josh starts talking about the
Meeting with Sonia.
conversation with Sonia that we just discussed. Did you guys think it was appropriate to bring this up without Sonia there? And if they brought it up, do you think it was okay to go to this level of discussing it?
I'll give it up to Luann in saying that probably not the best thing to discuss at dinner. I agree with that. She's not there to defend herself. And even though Ramona is her best friend and is clearly going to like defend her, not the best. I probably would have said to my husband, you know, if he started talking about that or whoever, I would have just said, let him finish his comment and then gone, you know,
Yeah.
let's
Just hold that arm a little bit tighter.
let's just not talk about that anymore.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No, I agree with you, Lyndsey. I do. I really think that there's a level where, well, I don't think she should have to, I don't think it should be Kristen that has to be
Censor her
responsible for it. But I do think I would definitely be the one to do that, like you did.
Sure.
But he should have probably known that he knows the cameras are on. I just thought it was a little.
for the husband to get involved at the dinner.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was probably frustrated that he met with her and she was very closed-minded in that conversation, and he probably wanted to, you know, at least defend himself a little bit and say that, guys, just letting you know, like, I did talk to her. She
tried.
was really, I tried.
Yeah.
But it's probably frustrating for him to meet somebody that is like Sonia in that sense, is because he's a business person who deals with these situations all the time, and for him, it's probably rare to meet somebody like that. So he's probably being more conversational, but I think it came off a little bit
It would have been better
or
coming.
Doggy, because he's a
It
guy.
would have been better coming from Kristen, from Josh, with a small get together with the ladies, not their husbands there.
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
Agreed.
If the husbands hadn't, and it's hard because it's one of those where I don't feel like either of them, because Kristen kind of started it. She kind of brought it up first that Josh met with Sonia, and then he kind of bulldozed right on into, what happened.
Well, here's the final details.
But it's one of those where I don't think that it was malicious in talking about it. I don't think they were trying to gossip. It was just one of those where it's like, it's almost one of those where it's like you have to tell your friends, like, you can't make this stuff up. Like, this happened. It's like you'll never believe what happened. And maybe even a little bit because Josh has to know that these other women and even husbands know Sonia better than he does, to where like maybe they have some insight. Now, granted, he didn't approach it that way and say, is there anything you guys? I mean, is there a way in that I did, should have said something and I didn't, But it is one of those where it's like not the right time or place. But I can see where a lot of people kind of in a similar situation would have probably brought it up,
Jumped in
this. You know what I mean? Like you're with the only other people that that she knows.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
But the only thing is, we did know. I mean, talking with Ramona there at the dinner, she was gonna, she's gonna stand up for a BFF.
And she's going to tell Sonia later.
And she's going to tell it. And, I mean, rightfully, she was getting a bit annoyed and frustrated and saying, okay, enough.
And I think that was more because it was Kristen and Josh than because it was said. You know what I mean?
It was a double-edged sword.
I think if it had been anyone else or anyone else's husband, she would have still defended Sonia, absolutely. But it would not have been with the same, like, dagger. You know what I mean? Kind of with the same, like, oomph to it.
Right.
Because it wasn't only about not hurting Sonia, it was also about like proving Kristen or proving Josh to be like the bad guy or being wrong for what they're doing, I felt like.
Right.
Because we heard Ramona say it 2 episodes ago, talking to Sonia, saying, you've done this, and this, but you're not finishing anything.
She completely agreed with Josh. She would have just completely
but
agreed.
It was that it was Josh and Kristen. But I'm way excited because when Heather was like, Ramona needs to get some manners, you bring somebody to a party that wasn't invited to a couples-only dinner party. I loved Heather saying that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just being honest.
No, absolutely.
Well, that was after not showing up. So you don't say you're not coming, and then you not only come, but then you bring people that aren't invited.
It's rude.
That nobody even met?
Right.
No? Yeah.
I just feel like Ramona's a little bit different this season. I don't remember her being so... I know she's always been very outspoken, and I do believe she has a good heart. I really do. I think I just feel like watching her this season so far, I don't see a lot of the old Ramona that I've always loved watching. I just feel like there's a lot of anger. And I don't know, am I wrong? I just feel like she's never been this angry.
There are parts that there were, during the episode, I think when they did get to Heather's house, there were times that I had flashbacks from last season of her and Sonia. That was there.
That was
little
fun.
and you're like, oh, I do remember that. But you're right, she, though, snaps so quickly.
Yeah.
So much. She's
That's
got
not normal
so
for
much
her.
pain,
No, it's
frustration
not.
underneath it all, that just with anybody, it just feels...
It's uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, she's yelled before. I mean, what was it, last season when she's like, take a Xanax? And she's yelling it. I mean, we know she can get over the
getting
top
physical?
and loud.
Yes.
But getting physical
Right.
and
That's
snapping
new.
like the way
physic-
she's doing.
I don't ever
It's
remember
coming
her
on
getting
quickly.
this. Absolutely. It's at another level where I almost don't want to watch because I know that this is not her.
And you know why.
I know.
I mean, now...
we would
Well, we
assume it's
think.
because of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
I would
well, true.
think.
I mean, we don't
Who
want to
really
look
knows
at during
what-
the dinner.
No.
I couldn't help. There were a few little things when she does make the comments about, well, you do like pretty girls to Mario, and then she also said, he was so, woohoo, they're going away, and he was
Oh my gosh, I
wanted all the
cringed.
details. So when are they going, for how long? And to know that
What
you
we know now.
what we know now, you're like,
Yeah. It makes you wonder.
Yeah.
I guess we'll never really know if she knew then or not. I would assume that she knew, but I there's a lot it's hard to
again, it's outside.
to assume.
We're judging. We're making assumptions.
Right, we are
and
making
everything
assumptions.
from-
But all I know is I have a strong assumption that she's, and I just believe that she's different this season. There's just something about her that's a little more. There's like something just. in her that
She's
just
in a tough
comes
spot.
out quick.
Well, and not only the stuff with Mario, but we know that her daughter's going to college. So this is a big transition year.
Yes.
She's becoming an empty nester.
Yes.
You know, and I think that,
Literally, like husband and all.
well, yeah, you know, but it's, you know, but it's, so it's one of those things where it's like, you know, none of us have reached that point in our lives where we're home with our husbands or a single, you know, sending our kids off to college. So it's one of those where it's like, there's no way that we could ever really know what that would feel like or what that would be like. But having conversations with my mom now, you know, from when I was the one that did that, it's definitely something that parents go through, and it's a big transition for them, you know, and that's something that she's faced also. Like, she's alone. And Sonia's going through so much of her own stuff. I mean, I can't imagine that there aren't moments that where she just, even in a crowded room, feels so alone.
Yeah.
And that's why we're seeing
Bringing
some
the
of
gay
this
husband
difference.
with her,
Right,
even to
right.
have an ally.
Just someone, yeah.
And not even that, but everything gets filmed for the whole world to watch it too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a lot. It's a lot to sign up for. You can't take it back once you sign up. So transitioning into Rich Easton, the matchmaker, who sits down with Carole and Kristen. I thought this was really funny. He's asking her. Well, he gives his critique on what he thinks men are like. So he says there's men that are boob women and men that are leg women. Now, if I were a man, I'd be a leg and boob woman. Why would you stop at one? I'd be like, I want legs,
I always
boobs,
thought
I
it
want
was
boobs,
like-
I want nice eyes.
I always thought it was boobs and butts.
Me too.
So when
I
he
thought-
said
I think
boobs and
boobs
legs,
comes with the butt, because I think when people have boobs, they usually have a good butt, right? No?
I would say the legs and butt go together. Maybe that's what he was trying to say.
I
was
don't-
that
I don't know what they mean by butt though, because for me, like, you know, there's some people that like a butt, like the butt has its own zip code, and there's other people like butts that just like the butt is just, you know,
Kim
pretty
Kardashian.
small.
some guys, but
But she's got a booty.
some
and
guys are kind of the
love
same
that.
way with boobs. Like, not every guy.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think, you know, not
Steven?
every guy loves huge
Right.
or fake.
Right.
And some guys, like, they want them big and fake.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Right.
They don't even want them real and
Yeah.
big. They want
They
them
want 'em
fake and
fake
big.
and
You know what I
big.
mean?
Right.
I mean, but they're still a boob guy. Like, because I feel like it's for me, like, whatever the first thing that I look at in a guy, that's what I am. You know what I mean? Like, so if the first thing you look at or notice on a girl is her boobs, you're a boob guy, regardless of what your preference
So
is.
wait, when you
know
look
what
at
I
a
mean?
guy, what could the first thing
What's
be
the
that
first
you
His
thing?
smile.
Oh, okay,
me.
okay,
Yes,
okay.
yeah.
Dad, dentist.
That's why.
Oh, back to
So
the
that's
shameless plug. She has a father is a dentist.
What's
if you
the
ever need
number
no,
again?
but that's why.
1-800.
Like, knowing like anybody could have a great smile. Like,
Yeah.
that's something
You're
that
sweet. I took that to another level in my head, but I'm not going to go there. But yeah, okay. That was so sweet. What you
But
just said,
that's
actually.
what I mean, you know. And same with like, if a guy
won't say
notices
it.
butts, then you know he's a butt guy.
Okay, I understand.
So, but
You're
I
so
just
sweet
always
and
heard.
innocent. I love you.
I know. I agree, Courtney.
We
you
are on
normally
the
tend to
air.
be you're either a butt or a boobs.
That's what I always thought it was.
Okay.
So
Now a new
when they
addition,
said
so-
boobs and legs, I was like, oh.
Okay, so
The
if they're,
butt got
so
lifted
they're a
up.
perfect 10 if they have
Yeah.
boobs, butt, legs. Obviously.
Well, Carole does comment and say, as I get older, my butt gets lower. So
Right.
maybe
Doesn't
Gravity.
it all get
I'm
lower?
I'm not saying that
I'm
on
terrified
her.
of
Oh,
that.
by the way,
She's
she's
right? Oh
looking
my gosh.
fantastic.
I
in
have
her
a
role.
real serious question for everybody.
Yeah.
Who has the best butt on the Real Housewives of New York?
Kristen.
The
Okay.
best butt.
Yeah. I feel like Sonia has a really good butt.
Sonia's got a rockin' bod.
Yeah,
like,
I
she's
know.
all
does.
together.
I think
I mean-
Kristen's got the
I'm
statuesque
just
body.
giving
but-
Kristen it because
Yeah, no,
she's just.
she's totally a 10.
She's a
but I'm saying
model.
Heather's really.
I don't
They're
know.
all really good.
They all have really good butts. I
Right?
feel like Heather's a really good butt too, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take a
There we
really
go.
good look at her butt on
Oh my
Thursday.
God.
and
What
then
What
we'll
about
judge it.
what about we use that for fans and viewers?
Yeah. What?
I want to know what you guys
There you
think.
go.
This is going to be our YouTube question for the night, and it's a serious question. And I want all the men watching to comment. And I know that you guys are
Ashley
very
has spent a
smart.
lot of time
Respectfully.
thinking
Yeah.
about
Please.
this question
Respectfully,
tonight.
please.
Okay.
Take it away,
Permission
darling.
I'm
to
gonna
look
read
at their
every
butts.
answer. Who has the hottest butt on Real Housewives of New York?
Yeah.
Please let us know. And I want a detailed reason because, you know, for me, I feel like Sonia because Sonia's more petite, so like her butt stands out more, and so that's why I like her butt the most. But like, let me know why you like their butts because I want to know, you know, what goes
Yeah,
through your mind.
there's
And
different
women too,
preferences.
please, women, chime in. I want everybody to know, male, woman, whatever.
Yeah,
Let me
okay.
know what butt you like the best, and we'll count them all and find out who the
You
best one
guys,
is.
we just went like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and like made it about like looks and sex with the
Hey,
butt question.
You know what? That's
throwing that out
bravo
there.
for- bravo. No pun intended.
We
Okay.
took that to it. So what do you guys think about, though,
Yes.
the matchmaking, Kristen's
Yes.
opinion of getting her a business guy?
Yes.
She's never
I
been
like
with
that.
a businessman.
I think she needs somebody that, see, she is to me, she comes off very conservative. She's a professional. She takes her work very serious. I think she needs a guy that's not a businessman. I would advise her to go with a guy that's a little more, it's going to get her out of her shell. It's going to make her stay out really late. I'm not just saying she doesn't party, but just somebody that's a little more easygoing. He's got the money, though, so she's not going to have to carry his, ass financially, but that he would be the one to kind of get her to have fun and be carefree and light. That's what I would do.
But isn't that not similar to what she's kind of had? I mean, we talk about the musician. She goes for those guys that are out there, rebellious and
right. But there's a difference between like rebellious and creative, and those people that like they're like really at that level of creativity and rebellion, and maybe they're too much. I'm saying a guy that's like he's got a great job.
So
financially, he's totally
what would the
fine.
job be? Like, is there something that comes to mind?
Real estate. Let's see.
So when you think businessman, are you thinking like Wall Street finance guy?
I don't know.
Because I still would consider a real estate man a businessman.
Maybe like a talent agent or like somebody that works in the agency setting, like entertainment, or like something where maybe like news, they do something on the news, or somebody that's just somebody that's
still business, but it's not
creative.
Yeah.
That you're still thinking outside the box. You're not stuck in a cubicle with numbers all day long. Lawyers, there a lot of lawyers are very miserable. I know. I have a lot in my family, so not law, but something where they're creative, but they're making money and they're able to, take care of themselves, but they're still having fun.
What about
super
an athlete?
businessman? She doesn't.
Not stable enough.
I think that's why she didn't like the
need.
musician thing, because it was so much traveling.
No,
and
but I
stuff.
mean, like, get her one of the like professional baseball players. Get her a Yankee.
What? So she can be cheating?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Well, how about we get a Red Sox player?
I do like.
Those are the good guys.
I do like though, but she said
Shout out
she
to
likes,
Boston.
She likes somebody with a talent, and I think that if that's something that she's looking for, you can't just take that away then.
I just don't think a musician would be the right person.
I'm not
like
saying
they travel.
that.
No, I know. I just was being
talent,
ADD and
any
saying
talent, whether it's playing an instrument, whether it's speaking, public speaking, whether it's knowing the best art. He could be a museum curator for all we know. But having some sort of talent, artsy, creative thing, and I think that's what she's looking for. She's looking for a talent, and she should not deviate from that, because she'll be disappointed with the end result.
Right.
Even if he's talented in business, something that really gets him fired up about it.
Yes. She
They
wants
have to have
start
passion of some sort.
and he has to be smart. She wants. She is a
She's
smart woman.
intellectual,
She needs someone that also challenges her, I think, definitely.
And
But
she's
look,
got all that schooling and all that those
Maybe
amazing
a teacher, like an NYU instructor,
Like a
or somebody-
professor?
Yeah, like a professor.
Professor.
Like a historian, maybe.
at the end of the day, she's got nothing to lose.
Yeah,
and
she
so
would.
go for it.
Exactly.
I think that's fun.
Exactly. I mean, I thought it was interesting that he says, some men are attracted to girly girls, and some like the ones that can hold a conversation more. I don't know why it has to be this or that. Why can't there be, and I don't think he's saying that, but I feel like men, when they're maybe filling out their forms on Match.com and stuff, that they're saying like girly girl only, who speaks but lets me be the man. Like, at the end of the day, it's just.
It's the stereotypes, that pretty girls aren't smart. And, I mean, Kristen, it's even the joke in her tagline for the show.
But as we know, she's a smart girl.
Right.
Yeah.
But he even said to her that she's got to go home and put on something girly. Well, what if I want to wear a t-shirt and jeans? And every boyfriend I've ever had has always said, you look best in sweats with no makeup on.
Every guy says
unless
that.
They're all, are they
My
lying?
boyfriend didn't say
But
that.
I'm not saying that you don't.
Are they, no, are they
But I'm like
are
now
they
wondering
lying
if
to
they all
us?
are saying that.
Are they lying to us and saying that? Or do
I
they
don't
really
know.
enjoy the fact that we can just mellow out and still pull off that pretty girl that goes to the dance with them into a girl that can sit and watch sweats and
They have to know that you do, but they have to know that you can get dolled up and go to that dance.
Yes.
Before they appreciate you in sweats.
Yeah, because then they're kind of like.
Maybe that's the point he's saying. Like, you can be yourself and do this, but you gotta show them that you can be like that.
She's girly girl to me. What
No,
are you
I agree, though.
No, I know. I'm saying, but like, I'm saying, like, I don't think she even comes off tomboy. Like, if anything,
I don't either.
If
Her
anything,
hair's
I feel Heather would,
amazing.
if anybody.
Yeah.
Heather's like, she'll do it herself.
And
She's smart.
even
She's
Kristen a little bit. Like, there's
Kristen
a sporty
too.
side to her.
Oh, absolutely. That's
I
why
mean,
I like her
it's
butt.
it's just like
Yeah,
her.
exactly.
Knowing she's a model, I think, kind of like makes you just think girly, even if she is a little bit sporty and kind of
Yes.
boyish in that sense.
Who's the most girly girl on the show? Did you say Luann, maybe?
Sonia?
I don't know, Ramona?
I would almost say Ramona.
She's
Which
so
Ramona?
like...
I mean,
with her
with the
antics
hair
in this
and the-
episode, that
Yeah.
wasn't girly
Yeah.
girly. That was just being a spoilt brat.
Yeah, well,
Well,
all right. Let's get into
we
that
don't
then.
visit the Berkshires. We've only visit the Hamptons.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
right.
That's
Crazy.
Pretentious. Can we talk about that now?
I want to. I want to just mention the yoga really quickly and say,
on that?
yes, the yoga, hilarious. I loved it. There wasn't much to talk about, but them hanging
it.
and having their
Wanna do
crotches
it.
in the air. I wish I was there. And why was everybody 15 in the yoga studio? I mean, I guess that's the most. I feel like everybody in the studio, other than them, they were like
I feel
literally
it would
15.
be expensive too. So how are they
I
affording
know.
it?
I know. I don't know. But
Rich
that
kids
looked-
of New York. I don't know.
There you go.
I don't know. But yeah, it was really funny watching all of them, and they bonded, and that was great. But let's get into the real hardcore news. Okay, so they go to the Berkshires. They're driving there. We have Luann, Sonia, and Ramona in one car, and Kristen and Carole in another. And just like in the boats, which we'll talk about later, there was such a difference in their teams. so to
dynamics.
speak.
Yeah.
Right. But you
Between
have
the
one
two.
car and the other car, and the fact that Bravo goes back and forth and it really flip-flops, it shows us just the difference between them.
Do you think Bravo helped like decide who sits in what car?
Oh, they plan that.
You know
That's
what I
all
mean?
production.
Yeah,
That's
you
all
have.
production.
She has inside
My
scoop.
girlfriend, my girlfriend was a producer on the show, and all that stuff is planned. They are
I
putting
mean,
certain
and
people
same with
in-
like the boat because Carole makes it clear like being in
didn't
the boat
really
with
wanna be
Ramona and
there.
Sonia
Carole
was
did not want to be in that
You know what I
boat.
mean? But so it's
She
like,
got
why
she drew
would
a
you?
short straw on that one.
She was like, I was waiting for her. Like she was like, I feel
she
like
was gonna tip the boat.
Yeah.
Well, she almost did when she was like, "Screw you guys," and dove out
Right.
in her shorts and
I would have
everything.
flipped the boat over.
I felt like
with them in
Luann was going to ram that car into like a tree or that deer because she was like listening to them in the back. I can't imagine being in traffic and then having them.
those two.
That's the moment you put music on, Luann. Put it on loud.
headphones.
Yeah.
I thought they
Headphones.
both gave
Something.
two
Headphones with loud music.
Yeah.
glimpse into the fun aspects, though. Luann, I thought it was fun to see her
She
relax
did
being a
great. She
crappy
played along
driver or
with it.
whatever.
I don't think she's that bad of a driver. I think
I
they were
don't
doing
either.
that on
They
purpose.
were doing that on purpose. But
Yeah.
the same to see, though, Carole and Chris, how good a relationship they have. They
Yeah.
really seem to, get along really well. Genuine.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't put it past Ramona, but when she said I need an AC and she called up for an AC, were any of you shocked that she ordered one?
I thought she was joking.
I thought she was joking.
I didn't think
it would
she'd
actually
follow
come.
through.
You didn't think?
No, did you
love
really
it.
think that she was going?
I did. Because she,
yeah.
Oh,
You did.
I did
I'm
because
with
she
you.
takes a challenge and she's like, "Oh, watch me, I'll do it."
Yeah.
Anything I put my mind to, and I'm like, "Oh God, there comes an AC, guys. The AC
They're on
will
their
be
way,
delivered.
yeah.
They're on their way." I did. I can't.
just-
I'm guilty. I
Like
said.
to prove a
tacky.
point.
Totally.
If nothing
But
else,
then
it's
it
like,
takes a
yeah.
challenge.
I have money.
Yeah.
If you got money, I'll do it.
You can do it if you have.
Yeah,
I got
exactly.
money.
Yeah.
Right.
I have to be
She's
in the
footing the
Hamptons.
bill. What
Why
does
are we
she
in
care?
the
Bravo's
Hamptons?
footing the bill. Who knows? Somebody's paying for it. It's not Heather. That would be terrible if Heather got the bill.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
Here you go, Heather.
I'm so mad.
Yeah. Okay. So they get to the house, and the first thing Ramona says is, "Do you have a handyman here for my luggage?" I mean,
She didn't really think there was like a butler there.
she's
She
just-
couldn't have really thought there was
is she
going
just
to be
putting this the
I
house
think-
down on
I think
purpose?
she
This
is. I
joke.
think
I was gonna say because I
jokingly.
almost feel like that was kind of like the tennis shoes comment to Kristen.
Yeah.
You know, when it was like, do you really not know that you
Yeah.
have like special, like
Right.
just kind of like a throwaway, just little dig.
jab.
Yeah, but that little dig about, is that your garage? Or is that the house?
I felt like she was just being. I feel like her sense of humor sometimes comes off as being rude, but I don't think she's really being mean.
but I
I
just
She's not. Yeah.
Do you think she don't think she's?
I don't think it's
you
nice.
think she's trying to be sarcastic?
I don't think it's nice
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
any
I do.
means.
You think
But
she's just trying to be sarcastic?
I think she's.
Oh.
I don't think so much sarcastic. I
No,
feel
you
like
don't
she's.
think so, Linds?
I don't think she's. I think she's just really
Mean?
just kind of being a mean.
No, I like
girl
that we're
about
not
it.
agreing about everything because that's good because it's
I think
shows
she's
that we
just
all.
being a little. I mean,
I just don't think that she's actually. I don't think Ramona ever, for 1 second of her life, ever wants to make anybody feel bad. I don't. I just don't think she thinks before she talks, and sometimes she just says things, and I think it comes from a little bit of like I'm better than you, but I don't think it comes from a bad place. I think it comes from a place of insecurity.
I don't think the comments that she made about the house stuff were malicious.
No, like
No,
I'm
that's
saying
not- that's what I
But
mean.
they're just...
But
That's what I'm
but
trying to say,
It's
like,
more
it's-
of in sarcasm. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah,
she's not
she's-
trying
yeah.
to like purposely hurt you, but she's trying to make you feel insecure.
She's not.
or
She's not
insignificant.
crossing the line. She's walking the line,
I
and
can't
she's doing it on purpose.
And,
Totally.
and Heather didn't take the bait, and that's why it was awesome because
Yeah.
Heather just sat there and was like, "All right, let's
How's
go."
my
She's
garage?
rolling with
Yes.
the punches and just all that. Because in any other circumstance, I think with any of the other girls, maybe or even Aviva,
Yeah.
would have snapped back and maybe
Yeah.
Imagine
thrown
if
over
someone
the
had said that to Sonia. because of her financial state. That would have no. If someone made comments about it, this is a bit low.
Yeah.
You know, this is so tiny.
I don't think anybody would have.
I think I'm gonna say that maybe it doesn't come from a place of insecurity. Now that I'm thinking about it, what if it comes from a place of she knows that it's like if you said that to somebody who doesn't have money, that would be cruel. But because because clearly the house, it's like telling someone that's really pretty, like, oh, you look like shit today, like they really do look good. So maybe it does come from a place of sarcasm. I think I changed my answer.
Yeah.
I changed my answer. I think that she did it because it's like literally the house is huge. There's tons of land, and she has a beautiful. She has money. She's an entrepreneur. So maybe this was just poking fun at something that's actually not. It's not a bad situation. Right.
I think all of her comments and antics.
It's kind of hard to figure Ramona out.
And going
sometimes.
out there, it just seemed like she was a spoiled brat.
What do you
Like,
guys?
she just wants to throw in all the comments. I don't do,
I don't lift this canoe.
I don't live, it's not luxurious. It's not. I'm hot and things. It's for God's
I have
sake,
to
put a
stay in the
backpack on a
car.
girl. Do what I do. Go travel the world by do rough it up, and she just doesn't, and that's fine. Not everyone is, but just enough of the comments.
I can't figure her out. Sometimes I ponder Ramona. I just
I love that
I don't
you just said that.
understand. I'm pondering you, Ramona. Let us
Ask me,
know.
she's not that complicated woman.
I am confused. I just don't understand. Hold on, I need to ponder for like 20
Oh my god.
I can't figure you out, Ramona. I don't understand because I know you have a good heart, Ramona. Like I know you do. So I don't know why sometimes you make these comments. I
want to know,
and I love Heather too. I honestly love them all. So I don't know.
I want to know.
They're all good hearts.
Do you think that? How do you think it would have been different? Because it obviously would have if Aviva had been there. Because we know she couldn't.
When
She
Lyndsey
wouldn't
mentioned
have
that, it was the
said
first time I thought of Aviva.
We missed Aviva the whole episode. She
Yeah.
wasn't in
I
any of
didn't
it.
really
Which
enjoy that.
was kind of nice.
Can you believe? Can you believe that Ramona legitimately accused Heather of planning it maliciously when Aviva would be gone?
Yeah, of course she would.
You know what I just.
Sorry.
Would you
But
expect any less?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
And again, Heather didn't take the bait.
You think she does
didn't.
it?
I don't know.
She's still on that.
I'm pondering.
She's just
I'm still pondering, guys. Come back to me in 5. All right. So
But yeah, Aviva, I feel like it would have been a whole different.
It would have
maybe
been.
not. I mean, maybe she would have sat quietly
Like she
with
did
the
last
last
episode.
thing.
That's
You
what I
know.
was thinking. I feel like Aviva either has to be super in the fight, involved in it, probably somewhat causing it, or stays back and
Completely.
watches the show. And I don't think there's a middle ground. I don't.
No, and I don't think she would have been involved in it.
I also
then.
think it's so weird that Ramona
Yeah,
sticks up
I
for her.
don't think she would have.
I don't get it. I know I'm going back to last season, but they were arch enemies, and she said some cruel things about Ramona and Sonia. So it's just it's hard to I can actually genuinely believe that Kristen is very, very good friends with Carole and with Heather.
Heather.
I
Yeah.
see
yes.
the friendship, and I don't see them ever going against each other. Those 3 girls, I feel like they just have each other's backs.
totally.
So I take it serious when they stand up for one another, but I just don't take it serious when people stand for people that have had that many
It's
arguments.
off and on and
So
back
get
and
it.
forth and.
Yeah. Okay, so we get into the house, and the there's no AC. We know that it's very hot, and instead of being
Gracious.
grateful, and gracious and thankful, they're just complaining, and then the AC gets delivered and solves the whole entire issue.
And the cute Sonia and Ramona together.
And
Laverne
Sonia's
and
hitting on the
Shirley.
delivery guy.
Yeah.
Getting it on the AC, whatever the ladies were doing.
They offered him some wine. He
Cool
looked like he was
air.
16. The poor kid. He's like, no, thanks. I don't really want to have any wine with you guys. I want to leave.
I don't want to drink underage on camera.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Yeah, I know. Bravo would have loved that.
Yeah.
Sonia's like, hey, cutie, whatever she said. I'm like, Sonia, pause off. I mean, I don't know. I thought it was funny, though, to watch
The whole time they
AC
separate
really
themselves
come
from doing a tour, which Heather's doing,
Yeah.
showing them the gorgeous place and everything, and talking, showing them the design that she's going to do for the barn.
Yes.
And the
They're having
yoga
fun with the AC,
studio.
Yeah.
whatever.
That's awesome to have a yoga studio in your backyard.
hammock and
Oh
knowing
my
that there's a
gosh.
pond right down. I mean, everything. It was beautiful.
And then
Great lake house.
I know, it was awesome. And they mentioned the truck. It was the 68 Bronco. So she said, did they clean that up for her wedding or something? I didn't really understand what she was talking about. She said something like
I didn't either.
I don't know if it was a wedding. We'll have to ask her. But it was really cool. And I actually, when she mentioned wedding, I've seen a lot of weddings now where they do a lot of pictures in front of those types of old-fashioned trucks. And they do it kind of on the grass.
vintage.
Yeah, vintage,
it's
yeah.
gorgeous.
So I totally pictured that. I don't know if that's what she was referring to, but all right. So then they, Heather suggests, since it's so hot, let's go swim in the pond, which Lyndsey mentioned and all of you mentioned. It's a lake. It's definitely not a pond. It's a big, it's clean. It looks
I
pretty
wouldn't
clean.
climb in a pond.
Yeah, ponds are just...
I probably wouldn't have climbed in that water either.
I would have. I would have
In the
jumped
middle
straight
of
Yeah,
the
of
lake.
course,
Bring
Miss
it on.
Adventure here. She would have loved it.
In
I
the
know.
middle of the lake, maybe.
Yeah.
not where there could have been any seaweed or leeches.
Yeah,
Come on, all right.
I just don't want.
We're getting to be too girly
Well,
right
I mean,
now.
I won't lie. I mean, I know they were on their swimsuits. It looked cold. I mean, maybe it was just like the tone.
It was so hot though that it. Just,
No, I mean, we know it was hot, but it was just one of those, like when Kristen and when they jumped in, I was just like, it looks cold.
Did it look
like,
cold?
I mean,
We'll
but
ask.
it's one of those things where, I mean, they're sitting in their bikini tops, they're jumping in the water. They're not going to jump in the water and be complaining about AC if it's cold. I mean, so it obviously wasn't. It just, it's just interesting. Maybe that's just like editing with the color correcting or whatever.
Well, I just think it's because it's Massachusetts, my hometown. Hey?
And it's, I mean, and it's lake, I guess.
It
so
looks
it's
like it doesn't look like a tropical island.
When
that
I
you
go
might
to the
jump
lake,
into.
yeah, I mean, it's at night, which it started to look kind of like it was, it's like hoodie weather. It's not bikini weather.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it was too hot because none of them, other than, I mean, Luann didn't want to go in. And I feel like if it was that hot, the girls would have jumped in. All of them would have jumped in. You just wouldn't, you would have to jump in. You'd be so hot. But it's always cooler by the water anyway. Anyway, so they're in the boats. So we got the boat with Luann and...
They finally get them down there.
Yes.
Luann, Heather, Kristen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the
pairings?
Yes, the pairings, because we know now that that's obviously...
I mean, I felt like it was
Producers.
pretty good pairing other than Carole. I mean, but it's like...
Who else was going to ride?
You really think, one of the other girls had to be in there, and I feel like
been
Carole
Luann.
was probably the... Well, yeah, Luann could have gone either way.
Luann had spent the whole entire episode with the
with
two
them,
of
so she
Give the
probably
girl a
wanted
break.
some.
Go
That actually, I was thinking about that was actually, it's like, if you're going to put me in the canoe with them, then I get to ride with Kristen to get there.
Yeah.
Or like vice versa. Luann's like, I just sat in the car with them. I'm not getting in a canoe with them. That's
And
not
since
gonna
they
happen.
give
Someone
so
else.
much crap to
Someone
Heather,
else.
Heather wasn't going to really ride in the canoe with them.
Right.
At least Carole would be quiet and be like,
Which
all right,
maybe
I'll take
it
this.
should have been Heather.
I
Only
mean, if the
because
host,
it's like,
yes.
because it's her thing. And, if nobody else really wants to deal with the antics, then that's kind of your job as the host.
To be the buffer.
I couldn't believe it though. Literally at the moment, Ramona is talking about the situation. So Ramona starts telling Sonia everything that Josh said at that dinner about Sonia.
And Carole's just sitting there trying to fish.
I couldn't believe
I
it.
loved her. She was so into fishing.
She really was. I really
I
think
love
that
her for
Carole...
that.
Distraction.
Caught a fish, yeah.
I just felt like at those moments we saw glimpses of Carole trying to be a team sport, like just saying, "Okay, Bravo, you put me here. I'm going to do what I have to do, but I'm not going to engage in this conversation."
I don't want to.
on her part.
Because
But Sonia was
makes
even
sense.
reflecting it. Like,
well,
I don't-
yeah.
Sonia stayed pretty quiet. I
Partially.
It
mean,
was strange. Unless Sonia, I don't think Sonia knew that they were listening, but it was weird because I feel like if
I don't think
Sonia
any
would,
of them did.
But why would Sonia not say anything? Usually she's very verbal in situations where she finds
I
out
was
someone's...
taking it all in.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, because this is the first time that she's learning that any of this was said about
And
her.
her and Ramona are already, remember, on a little bit of shaky ground. Even though we see that camaraderie between them, which we know and love, they're still not perfect. So I'm sure Sonia's a little bit like, okay, Ramona's exaggerating. We know
Yeah.
the side of her. Let's listen to all of it. I'm going to take it all in. Remember, Sonia does like Kristen too.
Right, and she did say
So-
later
I don't
on...
have any beefs about Kristen, exactly. So,
Right, and she did say later on, you threw her under the bus, she says to Ramona, or you threw Josh under
Yeah.
the bus. So obviously she did feel like this was a very, very gossipy and dramatic at that point. So then we see Heather swims over and she's listening to what they're saying, and Kristen comes over, and this is where, I don't know who wants to recap this part, because
had your eyes shut.
I had my eyes shut, although I was told by them what happened. This is the part where I was screaming and scared. I really thought that there was going to be a fish hook coming out of Kristen's nose or something. But what did you guys think? Did you, when you saw that part, sorry, technical difficulty, we'll be honest with you guys. It's all set.
there we go.
Okay?
Well done.
Thank you, Stephen.
Me. Sorry, guys.
All right. Who wants to reenact the scene? Or not physically, but
Yeah, not physically.
I'm shocked still, honestly.
I think that Kristen did the best thing she could. Okay, we're in the water. Everybody's hot. Splash them. But after what happened last week, probably wasn't the smartest decision because she knew Ramona wasn't going to like it. And gets the wine thrown on her again, but the glass.
Yep.
That's violent with an object.
But then after the glass, then also gets
She was going to come after her with the oar, too.
the
She
oar,
said,
and
stay
it
away
throws
from...
it goes the oar. It's like, whoa, did you not just...
Yeah.
And didn't she say after that, I did it on purpose to her? She yelled, I did it on purpose.
Well, she
Guys,
calls
I
her,
don't know.
I thought she
I
said
think
you
she-
did it.
Oh, I thought she said I did it on purpose.
she calls
Okay.
her effing,
F,
She
yeah.
does
stuff
say
like
that
that.
a bunch of times.
Continually throws, profanities out.
Yeah.
think we've got to wrap it
Yeah.
up
Yeah, I guess
on
so.
that note.
I guess. Way to let us know. Whoops. All right. So basically, that was okay. So that was the end anyway. But
We saw
guys-
the lip. It's a bit of blood. She went straight to Luann. She checked and said, "Look, it's really swollen." Kristen's like, "Could I get infected? This type of water?" I mean,
And Sonia and Ramona are off and leaving.
Yeah. Well,
Ramona's
Carol's out of the
regrets
canoe.
it.
Carol's out of the canoe.
They're
She's right.
off. Yeah.
Ramona
Swam away.
regrets it though. She says, "I regret. I shouldn't have done that."
but no one pushes me. You know, this is
Yeah.
what happens when you push me.
Yeah.
You know.
See, I didn't feel like she regretted it. I felt like she knew that that wasn't the right thing to do, but it didn't seem like she was sorry yet that she'd done it.
She's just
I
showing.
think
Like
she
when
is.
they were,
This is
well,
what happens
maybe
when you
now,
test
but
me.
not when they were getting in the car. And I mean, she was like
think so?
100% defending her action.
Well, I know, but I think that was coming out of a place of fear because she knew that she was wrong and she had to. She's has cameras on her.
Yeah.
So like, you can't immediately be like, I feel like she would feel like she looks weak if she just starts regretting her, decision that quickly. So I think that. But I don't know. I just found it really. I'm pondering Ramona
Last
again.
minute
Sorry.
predictions. Anybody?
Next week. What are you guys thinking?
I just think that that's not over. I mean,
Yeah, I feel like
more Kristen and Ramona.
Yeah, Kristen and Ramona are gonna have it out.
Ramona looks like she lies to a few people, actually, Sonia
And
included,
Sonia, yeah.
and takes
Oh,
them.
yeah, that's right.
She leaves. I think it gets so bad she does leave and goes and disappoints everyone.
Abandoned.
Well, maybe we can get some insight on Thursday from Heather.
What's going to happen?
Oh my gosh, I know. Well, Heather was a great host for her house and for trying to get people comfortable and everything. And so I do feel bad that she had to deal with that situation. I wonder what will happen. I'm sure we'll see, next week.
Absolutely.
So yeah, where can we find you guys?
I can be found on Instagram and Twitter at COUHEN.
And you guys can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Lyndsey Wegner, my blog, lyndseywegner.blogspot.com, and AfterBuzz for Supernatural.
And guys, you can find me on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook at Stephanie McGrath, McGrath, host, and on Twitter at Host McGrath.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Miss Ashley Daniels. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you Thursday for Spotlight On with Heather, and we'll see you Tuesday as well. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
I knew he was like,
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only.
I
just knew we had
Views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.